the Trump administration is still in the position of attempting to justify their assassination of Qasem Soleimani. And it's stunning, frankly. This is a great opportunity for those of us who are trying to curb the institution of the presidency's power to wage war, to take advantage of this. There have been many opportunities like this. And sadly, not specifically in terms of War Powers Act, but across the board, whether it's protection for whistleblowers, whether it's any number of initiatives that could be taken to take advantage of the general disdain for Donald Trump, to use that as a lever in which to get reforms across that we couldn't get across during Obama because everybody trusted Obama, at least on the left, and at least in these issue silos. So it's civil rights and whistleblower protections, et cetera. Hopefully, we will get more in terms of War Powers Act resolutions, as it were. And I think Bernie and Senator Mike Lee are working on a joint resolution. And it's helpful to use people who are so incompetent. Now, the story that is being leaked now is that Donald Trump authorized this 6 months ago, and they just needed the right time. I say BS. There is an entire project to make this look like this was not Donald Trump sitting in his office thinking about how he could get the story off of impeachment. And these lunatics, Mike Pompeo and Mark Milley and Secretary of Raytheon, going in and seeing an opportunity and knowing that the Mad King might just be mad enough to start a war. Fortunately for us, the Iranians showed a certain amount of rationality. They made sure that our soldiers, as reported by CNN today, were aware, not specifically the soldiers, whatever, the leadership, of where they were going to be firing these missiles. And so these bases were essentially evacuated, at least the areas in which they were bombed. Here is Mike Pompeo trying to figure out how to answer this question of Donald Trump on Friday saying 4 embassies were going to be attacked. Mike Espers, is that his name, Mike, or whatever it is? Mark Espers, over the weekend saying, well, I didn't see any of that, but if he believed it, then I believe it. Like we're talking about Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny. Like, when there is an imminent attack on 4 of your embassies, that's a fairly specific claim. It's not just something, well, we take it on faith. He could have. Here's Mike Pompeo getting a little frustrated at the fact that he has to answer questions.
Secretary Pompeo, if I can, here today at the podium, you said that the imminent threat was a threat to U.S. embassies. You didn't know precisely when or where. Last night, the president said it was a threat to embassies, including to our Baghdad embassy. Why can you say that here, and the president could say it at a rally in Toledo, but no one said it to lawmakers behind closed doors in a classified setting, as multiple senators have since said?
We did.
You said so. The senators are lying when they say that
we told them about the imminent threat. All of the intelligence that we've briefed, that you've heard today, I assure you, in an unclassified setting, we provide in the classified setting as well.
To be clear, you told them that embassies were to be targeted. That was the imminent threat.
I'm not going to talk about the details of what we shared in the classified setting, but make no mistake about it. Those leaders.
Pause it. Let me just. Here's the big tell. First of all, if you're saying it publicly, why can't you say that we said that during the classified? Like, there's no new information here. It's just that when it really counted, like, you're not going to tell whether or not you told the senators when it really counted. And the big tell is just go back a little bit. What does he say? Like, I want to be absolutely clear. What is there's the tell, like when it's like, look, it's clear, I'm lying. So I'm going to say something that is going to start that is really meaningless, but it's going to sound incredibly authoritative and definitive.
Well, he slips between the guy says, did you tell them or did you say that? And he says it was provided and they have access to that information. So that's where I think he's...
Right. It was provided publicly and they have access to that information, but we weren't going to say it to them directly because they'll know we're lying. And they'll call us on it. They'll say, show us the proof because we're allowed to see the proof.
We did.
You said so. The senators are lying when they say that
we told them about the imminent threat. All of the intelligence that we've briefed that you've heard today, I assure you, in an unclassified setting, we provide in the classified setting as well.
To be clear, you told them that embassies were to be targeted. That was the imminent threat.
I'm not going to talk about the details of what we shared in the classified setting, but make no mistake about it. Those leaders, those members of Congress who want to go access this same intelligence can see that very same intelligence that will reflect what I described to you and what the president said last night as well.
Is that threat now gone with Soleimani gone?
Threats are never gone. Right? It's always a lot of danger in the world. Always a lot of danger in the world throughout the region. Nobody believed that a single mission in any respect took down the risk of terror. Terror from Al-Qaeda, terror from ISIS, terror from Al-Shabaab. No one believes that. The president doesn't. Look at the list, though. Look at the achievements in the administration.
Yeah.
Don't piss down my back and tell me it's raining.
There it is. Mike Pompeo trying desperately to make it look like this wasn't just simply Donald Trump trying to divert attention from impeachment at the risk of a massive war. And, one day, I don't know, maybe we will, maybe we won't. We will hear the story of Mike Pompeo and Mark Milley and Mark Espers figuring out, hey, we're all on the same page. We all think we should be doing this. And let's give it to an option to Donald Trump. And then it's just a question of we drop a bowling ball and let it roll down the hill. And fortunately, the Iranians were savvy enough to realize, like, oh, we can stop this ball from rolling. And it's not as if we couldn't have stopped it from rolling, but if Donald Trump's manhood was challenged enough, and he saw numbers that said, oh, they've actually bombed us, I need to strike back now, then it's off to the races. So, Mike Pompeo, mission unaccomplished. We'll see if they get a second bite of this apple. But I don't know. I doubt it.
Do you think that the war's unpopularity played a role in Trump backing down on this as well? Because he seems completely driven by people liking him.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I think Trump was aware. Well, look, I think Trump was aware that a war would not be helpful to him. And
because Geraldo told him on Fox News.
Well, maybe Geraldo talked, but I think he can read polls. And I think he thought he could look strong and it would be, and I think he was told that. I think had the Iranians responded by, I don't know what it would, maybe, I don't know if it would be blowing up our embassy or having some sleeper cell attack the U.S., the continental U.S., maybe the polling would change and his calculation would change. But I want to remind people, Ronald Reagan was able to stop that ball from rolling when he pulled out of Lebanon after 250 some odd soldiers were killed in a base in Lebanon. It's always doable, but he's a lunatic. He's surrounded by lunatics. Who knows? But I think, yes, in this instance, there was the failure to create a narrative leading up to this moment is helped all of us. And I think the fact that, look, there's a certain amount of war weariness that I think the U.S. public has. But you can't go out there and say, we killed the number one terrorist that you never heard about. I mean, it just doesn't work.
He wasn't even on the playing cards.
He wasn't on the playing cards. There was no, he wasn't part of the axis of the troika of evil or whatever, the construction they were going to have. Yeah, it just didn't work.